You. Hello, hello. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. The biggest lie that we tell ourselves about our anger. Um, Ready? It's really simple. The biggest lie that we tell ourselves about our anger is that we are just angry or that we are justified in our anger and that's all there is to it and it's just anger. The reality is that it's actually a lot more than just anger, or maybe not a lot more, but it's something more. It's a lot bigger than the simplicity that we're calling it as, oh, this is just anger. Hey, yeah. So the truth of the matter is if we take a step back and we really are honest with ourselves, okay, and we lie to ourselves the most, right? If we're honest with ourselves, though, we're going to realize that the anger that we are experiencing is not just anger. There's something under it. And I know that a lot of you probably like just hearing that, you're like, yep, true. Even if you're like, no, I'm totally justified. They wronged me, period, end of story. Okay, well, if they wronged you, you're probably hurt too. And if you're like me, that hurt is what you're covering up. You're not being honest with yourself about the fact that you were hurt. We want to avoid we want to avoid vulnerability, but in trying to avoid vulnerability, we're just like pushing it to the side. It's just something that you're going to have to deal with later and you're going to be vulnerable eventually. And here's the secret from someone on the other side of a very long struggle with rage and outbursts of rage and lots of anger. The secret is that vulnerability isn't the scary thing. It's actually not scary. I find myself now being more vulnerable and it feels good, you guys. The reason that you're running from vulnerability is because you're not experienced with it, because you can't see how things are going to work out, because you can't understand it's the fear of the unknown, right? So you're living in fear to avoid vulnerability. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I struggled with it for so long and now I just look back and go, what the heck? I mean, I have no regrets because I've learned. And you know what? Now I get to share with people that have had a struggle like me. And this is really huge. I didn't realize, because I wasn't honest with what I was actually feeling, I didn't realize that the reason people didn't know that I struggled with anger and rage on the level that I struggled with it was because I wasn't honest about how ashamed I was for the struggles I was going through. There's no shame. If this is something that you struggle with, like, I just have to let you guys know. Like, if this is something that you struggle with, you need to jump into my Facebook group. Okay. I've got a free challenge going on in there right now. It's called The Adventure from Outburst to Peace. You need to get in on that because you know what? Until you can get yourself to the point where you understand and you feel the difference of being honest with yourself and what it truly, truly means to be honest with how you feel with yourself and others, until you can at least get the part where you're honest with yourself and you know that, you're not fully living. You're not fully living because if you're trying to avoid the vulnerability of big feelings, you can't experience how huge joy can be. It's that I don't know the phrase exactly off the top of my head, but I'm sure you've heard it. It's something along the lines of like, how do you know? Well, here, I'm just going to make one up. I'm just going to make one up. How do you know it's light outside if you don't have the dark? How do you know it's warm out if you never experienced the cold? If you don't experience vulnerability, you will never know elation. Not on that same level. Because if you're not honest with yourself about how you feel about the things that aren't the best, because I'm trying to avoid the word bad, because truly good and bad, right? That's in my challenge too. But jump on over into my group and go through it. And people are getting stuff out of it, you guys. I wouldn't still be talking about it if I was just like, I write stuff and it's fun and nobody reads it. Nobody cares. I've gotten so many good responses from it and it just makes me feel so freaking grateful for the struggles I went through. I I don't want to do them again. I don't, but it makes me grateful. It gives me a little silver lining to what I've gone through. So don't make that a waste for me. This is all I really have to talk about tonight. I'm not making this long. I just wanted to come in here and tell you the biggest lie that you tell yourself about your anger is that it's just anger. There's more underneath it. You can dig for it, and if you need help with the process, my Facebook book. Now I feel like just like going off into a chicken noise. Also, fun fact, I can make a sound just like a turkey. I'm not going to do it right now, but if you watch, I put it in my stories once. It was really funny. You can't feel good emotions without feeling bad. Exactly. You cannot. So anyways, I'm going to jump out of here. That's the biggest lie you tell yourself, guys, is that your anger is just anger. It's not. Dig deeper. If you need help with the process, jump on over to my Facebook group, Heart-Centered Intentional Horsewomen. We will not judge you if you are not a horsewoman. We will not judge you if you're not a woman. Men struggle too. And you know what? There needs to be no shame around this, this process of learning to process anger. We weren't taught as kids, and I'm here to help you. So jump on over my group. The link's in my bio, and I'll catch y'all later.